How is everybody this morning? Okay, we are on day 4 of my going lives. I can't believe this is 4 days in a row. I am Kimberly Cordova. For those of you who are joining for the first time and getting to know me, I am the founder of Thrive Collective. And for today's Getting Ready with Me, we are going to discuss inclusive leadership. So inclusive leadership is something I talk about a lot in my work and the CILP program, and it is a value I see modeled by leaders a lot and a lot of other people in a mastermind that I joined recently. Earlier in my career, I was part of a team where only a few voices actually were heard, and a lot of times people are quiet. Right? A lot of people are sometimes either nervous to talk, or depending on the environment you're in, you may have a lot of different cultures. And depending on, so either people's personalities, people's cultures, for any number of reasons, people might either shrink back, or culturally they aren't always as front and center. And there was a team where very few voices got heard. You have people who tend to be louder and more out front, and a lot of times meetings felt like echo chambers and great ideas really got lost. And then we had a new leader join and really made it a point to invite quieter team members to share. And she really listened without interrupting. And the change was really immediate and engagement really went up. And the team solved problems more creatively. And boy, that really resonated with me and made me think. And made me want to absorb that into my leadership style. So inclusion really isn't just a buzzword. It really needs to become a daily practice. So here's what I learned from that, is that inclusion needs to start with intention. So you need to make it a goal to hear from everyone. Empathy is essential, and it's important to take time to understand all the different perspectives, all the different points of view, because they're all valid. And small actions matter. Even a simple, "What do you think?" can empower others, giving them the opportunity to weigh in. So even if they don't have an idea at the moment, they might have an opinion on something else that was shared. So a thought, if you are a leader or thinking of becoming a leader, what about rotating who leads meetings so that everybody has a chance to develop their voice? One idea. Or asking open-ended questions. So if somebody else, maybe you, provides a thought or a perspective, asking others on the team an open-ended question, going around the room. What do you think about this? What concerns or ideas do you have about this? And let them answer. Acknowledge others' contributions. Publicly thank them for their input. Let them know that you appreciate what they gave to the conversation. Another thing we should always do is to check our own biases and maybe ask whose voices are missing from the conversation. Is there anybody who didn't participate? I worked with the team where there was a junior member who rarely spoke up. So I started sending agendas in advance and inviting her to share first, making sure that she had a chance to speak because she tended to shrink back and not share, and other people were always participating before she had a chance to. So I would send out the agenda ahead of time so everybody knew what was coming, instead of surprising them or waiting till the last moment before people knew what was going to be talked about. And I would go to her before everybody had a chance to speak and let her give her 2 cents first. And what ended up happening was she became one of the most valuable contributors because she had a chance to voice her opinions and her thoughts and her ideas before everybody jumped in ahead of time. And she didn't shrink back anymore, and she became one of the most valuable people on the team. And she ended up thanking me later for that. And it was because she was junior and she didn't feel like she could talk up, right? She felt like she needed to wait her turn. But everybody should have, just because you're new to the team or maybe fresh out of college, you have just as much right to speak as everybody else. And your opinions are just as valued as everybody else. And so I let her know that, and she appreciated that. So here's some things to reflect on. Is there an inclusive leader that you admire? What do they do differently? Is there anything about their leadership style that you admire, that you can maybe emulate or take parts of? Something that they do different than you do that maybe you can model a little bit. Don't do it exactly the same, because I think we talked about that difference is edge. But maybe there's something that they do differently that maybe you could tweak a little bit and add a little bit to your style that you could take and make it your own. Is there some small action you could take this week to make your team feel more included? Maybe have somebody else run part of a meeting agenda item. Maybe you can call on somebody that doesn't speak very often so that they feel a little bit more included. Is there some place where you might be unintentionally leaving someone out? I know that sometimes we have really strong people on our team that we lean on because it's easy. I've done that a lot because I know there are times where we have really strong teams, and usually we have some really star players, some A+ players that we always know we can lean on because they're amazing. And so we go to them and we lean on them a lot because you know that John or Susie or Rebecca, that they're never going to let you down. And one, it can sometimes burn those guys out because we do lean on them a lot. But then sometimes it leaves out other people that may want to shine, and we don't give them the opportunity to shine because we lean on those people that we know won't let us down. So maybe are we unintentionally leaving out people who might rise up to be the next A+ player, the next star player, because we lean on the people we already know are star players? So where might we be unintentionally leaving someone out? I know that I admire leaders who listen deeply and make space for others to shine. So the CILP program is for women who want to lead with empathy, equity, and impact. And we do give you the tools to practice inclusivity and inclusion every day. So if you want to learn more, do check out CILP. I do encourage that. So here are some journal prompts for today. What's one way you could amplify a quieter voice this week? I encourage that. How can you help somebody else shine and potentially become your next star player and help them feel really good about themselves? Help them shine. Journal about that. Journal about amplifying somebody who's quieter. Help them grow. So inclusion is not a matter of political correctness. It is the key to growth. That's from Jesse Jackson. And my book for you today is The Person You Mean to Be by Dolly. I'm probably going to pronounce her last name wrong. I think it's Cha. Chugh. Chu. Sorry, Dolly, if I pronounced your last name wrong, but The Person You Mean to Be. It's a great book. So to wrap today, inclusion is a daily practice, and every small step really does count. If you want actionable strategies, please do DM me for some more ideas. I love to chat. And check out CILP. And we have some other smaller courses too. You can go to thrivecollectivehq.com, check out CILP, or we've got the Inclusive Leader, which is a smaller, quick course. We've got a few smaller, you can complete in just a couple hour courses. Servant Leadership is another one that's actually a very good course, but please do DM me, send me some ideas of other things that you want to talk about. We've got a couple of really great things coming up with Thrive Collective that I'll be talking about with you in some of the coming days. So I've got some really exciting things to share with you coming up, but I do appreciate any of the time that you spend with me, and I love chatting with you every day and getting ready with you. This has actually been a very fun experiment for me. I hope you enjoy watching the playbacks, and please do send me ideas if you have any. Thanks, guys. Bye. See you tomorrow.